In this video, I will be making a deep analysis on Dynast Amir and making a detailed review on his tour company, Danfo, explaining how I was treated in my overall experience. Keep in mind, everything said in this video is alleged, in my opinion, through my and others' experiences. I've stated throughout my entire series, First Time in Africa, that I enjoyed my trip to Morocco and Sierra Leone. But I will never give Dynast another dime of my money or be affiliated with him and his business ventures due to his lack of customer service, business practices, and integrity. I will also go through details of what transformed me from being a supporter to someone who sees right through Dynast. I was like most of his audience, very supportive, engaged into his content, gave him donations, invested in his tours, promoted his business on my videos and platform while being in his affiliate program. Like many, I was being very enthusiastic towards Dynast and his business ventures, looking up to him like a Pan-African brother, like how I once was towards Brandon Tucker from Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. Anybody who watched a huge chunk of Dynast's content knows that he frequently gives sales pitches of business ventures and do collabs with entrepreneurs outside of playing advertisements on his live videos. And to quickly address Dynast saying that he was playing my advertisements for free, as you can see, Dynast was getting paid in the back end, being a part of my affiliate program, where it is a commission-based program where I provide Dynast a promo code, which is featured in my commercial that I made him. And every time when his customers use his promo code to get 25% off, Dynast will get a commission of $25. But since I had changed my prices around and increased the prices, I increased the commission up to $50, which you see where he was paid from $25 to $50. And just for you guys to understand, when Dynast introduces you to a business venture, he's going to end up getting paid from the front end or to the back end. So for him to lie, not mentioning that he's a part of my affiliate program, making it seem like he was just doing it for the goodness of his heart, doing it for free, really made me question his integrity. Because why is he just sitting up there lying when I have the receipts? So I digress. Now let me continue. Allegedly, Dynast is accused of not properly vetting people and or being complicit to the scams for profit, allegedly. When Dynast content gets controversial where he and the other Pan-Africans look bad or exposed of what they really do behind the scenes, he deletes the video to keep their good image. For an example, Dynast hosted a live for RJ Mahdi to clean up his image due to being accused of scamming, allegedly. O'Shea Jackson was confronting RJ about his alleged scamming, and Travel with Tay Tay was confronting Kwesi Boyd about his alleged scamming, where she lost thousands, and exposing how she was being across borders to the Gambia illegally, allegedly. Like Dynast Amir and other fake Pan-African influencers, they like to demonize America, romanticize Africa, feeding their audience what they want to hear to later on ask for money and investments. Another example is when allegedly Dynast repeatedly hosted and organized collaborations on his YouTube channel with Lue Major, who is supposedly Haitian American, and Tiwo, who's Nigerian, selling plots of land in Nigeria, and they were collecting funds from Dynast's audience to an investment bank account that supposedly never existed, allegedly. When this business venture got sour as investors didn't receive their investments or verifications of the land or investment bank account, Lue Major, Tiwo, and Dynast was pointing the finger at each other, allegedly. As more controversy, frustration, and anger grew, it resulted in Dynast deleting the videos like it never happened. Many times, other content creators and individuals who saw these videos in real time accused Dynast of not properly vetting people and or being complicit of the scams for profit, allegedly. In my opinion, Dynast doesn't go into full detail of what happened, acting nonchalant towards the accusations, which others can attest to. Dynast's first move is to delete the videos of evidence of his controversy, never bring it up, resulting in his audience eventually forgetting and continuously supporting him for the sake of Pan-Africanism in hopes of building Black utopia through him as a leader. I saw and brushed aside Dynast introducing sketchy sales pitches of business ventures. But like his audience, which are an older demographic, through time I forgot the details of that situation, brushing it aside and continue supporting Dynast. Dynast knows that his audience have short attention spans and will eventually forget his controversies after he deletes his videos to keep a good image. Lo and behold, most of those deleted videos are now in my possession, and I will re-watch them, regaining my memory of what happened and report my findings if necessary, since I am so analytical, which Dynast hates. Behind the scenes via WhatsApp, I defended and expressed that I wanted to invest in experienced Dynast tourists despite what his peers said behind his back. For an example, Hustle Smart from Simp Academy and Brandon Tucker, aka Bucci Bear from Pan-Africanism Strikes Back, made shady comments about his tours and a tour member. Specifically, Brandon suggested for me to go to Kenya with him instead of going on tour with Dynast to Sierra Leone, which Brandon said there would be less begging in Kenya. And Hustle Smart complained about Dynast overcharging and making large profits in a single tour, plus spreading rumors to me from supposedly Dynast and or Brandon about Dynast's former tour member and a YouTuber, A Black Beauty, accusing her of hooking up with multiple Nigerian men to afford staying in Nigeria longer. Because how the girl feels about me, even though I don't have beef with her and wanted to support her business in my last interaction with her on Dynast Live, I guess Hustle Smart thought it was safe to spread rumors about her to me, but I gave her the benefit of the doubt still to this day and never understood why grown men would be speculating about her in the first place, being feminine and dusty. I've seen it as salty men being jealous, envious, and hateful towards a young lady finding her own path in Africa, in which Dynast allegedly hosts and condones these type of men occasionally making misogynistic remarks towards black women, which are contradicting as Dynast adds onto it and laughs along on his platform, letting his guests do more of the talking. Some of the disturbing statements I've heard Dynast say over the years are: first statement is, quote, "I don't date single black women with kids," end quote. Meanwhile, he's a baby daddy / single father who made a black woman a single mother. The next statement that he said, quote, "I am not interested in marriage," end quote. Then another quote, "I want to have more kids in the future," end quote. But if you're planning to have more kids but don't plan on getting married, you're just trying to create more single mothers. I am not a single mother, but I find these statements and his logic to be disturbing from a supposedly Pan-African and pro-black man who's pushing 50. And this is someone that you guys want to follow behind and support? Okay. But because he is seen as charming and persuasive as a salesman in a dashiki, feeding his audience what they want to hear, demonizing America and romanticizing Africa in the name of Pan-Africanism, his audience ignores his red flags like how I once did. So that's the backstory of what I gathered from Dynast over the years. And now we are going to talk about me investing in his tours and what happened behind the scenes that he hasn't been truthful about. In 2022, I had officially placed a $500 deposit into his Sierra Leone tour for November, which at the time, the specific tour costed me $4,500 for the non-citizenship package and $4,650 for the citizenship package for those who were eligible for the Sierra Leone citizenship. And I was told by Dynast to invest in the African Ancestry DNA maternal test kit to see if I am eligible for the Sierra Leone citizenship and passport, which would be processed and granted during the trip for those who has results tracking their DNA to Sierra Leone and its people like the Mendes and Temnes. But my results with my maternal test through African Ancestry, it came up to be Cameroon with the Takar people. I had made a live of me taking the African Ancestry DNA maternal test kit, informing about Dynast's tour and citizenship program, while encouraging one of my viewers to come along with me, which she did. This was my first time meeting her. We looked out for each other. You can see her all throughout my vlogs, which you can view in my first time in Africa vlog series in Morocco and Sierra Leone, when I documented the entire tour day by day. Despite our differences, my entire experience with Dynast's tours wasn't all that bad. In my opinion, and from other tour members, Dynast is allegedly nonchalant about customer complaints, allegedly, and has bad customer service and communication skills, and has no integrity to tell the truth when he's under fire. Allegedly. Outside of that, he worked with my financial schedule, accepting payments all throughout the months up until weeks before the trip. He gave me experiences and brought me places that would be more difficult for me to obtain without his help. He diversified our experience, taking us to villages, local restaurants, upscale restaurants, giving us street food and drinks, exploring the nightlife, showing us historic places and things, and most importantly, providing citizenship and passports to tour members who were eligible. Overall, I had a blast, which I expressed and shown throughout my vlog series, being enthusiastic, open-minded, and going with the flow, even though I saw red flags. One of the major red flags was his itinerary, which I and other tour members saw errors he needed to fix. Even I offered to edit them myself, but he refused before we even went on the trip. For an example, in the itinerary, it states that we were flying with Air Senegal with a layover in Dakar, Senegal, when we were actually flying in Air Morocco with a layover in Casablanca, Morocco. Two major differences. That's a major error, which he could easily fix. And he should make the itinerary as accurate as possible, especially with his customers being older and take their schedules very seriously. A few tour members complained to me, each other, and Dynast about the itinerary. Plus, the itinerary included places we never went to, which Dynast uses the excuse that Africa is unpredictable to warrant him not to revise the itinerary at all, even with the error of the different airlines and layover locations. A lot of people who invested $4,000 to $5,000 for a 10-day tour would be upset about not being able to go to places that's mentioned in the itinerary and would feel robbed. For me, knowing that the itinerary was all over the place ahead of time, I went with the flow, being enthusiastic and open-minded. Dynast would inform us of what was happening days before, a day before, or the day of. I do remember in our WhatsApp group chat that he had sent us a screenshot of notes of the places that he was going to take us, but it wasn't the official itinerary. We also have to keep in mind at times the schedule change and be delayed due to prioritizing the citizenship and passport processing, like getting their fingerprints scanned and bank accounts set up, which I understood. In my opinion, he could have made the itinerary as accurate as possible, changing the airline names and the layovers, but when it came to everything else, I could understand how there might be changes due to different schedules and availability, which I didn't really make a huge deal with the itinerary when other tour members were complaining about it. For me, another red flag was his communication skills. To me, Dynast is a bit off. He comes off too introverted and socially awkward to lead people in his tours or in general. My first time discovering Dynast and watching his live panels, he would barely talk, muted, with blank stares, allowing his guests to do more of the talking, which I thought was odd and was wondering what was wrong with him. From analyzing his character during the tour, in my opinion, he was not as present and enthusiastic while guiding us throughout the tour, but became highly animated when he picked up his camera to make content, which me and another tour member noticed while reflecting. He would give us information that's needed for us to know where we're going, what to expect, but would be more to himself, depending on locals to inform us on things like historical monuments when at times it was difficult for us to understand them. But, we understand that some of them know information that Dynast doesn't know, but we would like, or I would like to see him be more communicative on the information and history that he knows of these certain places. I've been on local tours here in the United States, and usually your tour operator is enthusiastic, reassuring, and informative of the places he or she is taking you to. In my opinion, I felt like Dynast was a shepherd in leading us as sheep into Sierra Leone, as it didn't feel like there was genuine compassion with being a tour operator, like it was a chore or something he must do to make a living. Next, I want to address Dynast's nonchalant attitude about the Temne family reunion situation. Although he did tell us that the Temne villagers here in this specific place as individuals are aggressive, we didn't know the magnitude of it. It was visibly uncomfortable sitting and or standing in one place. These Temne individuals at this particular village aggressively begged us for money, women and children, while Dynast watched and filmed it. Only a few Temne men tried to stop it and guard us, but they couldn't control the women and children, as Dynast watched, filmed, and shown praising them, fist pumping their air. The footage doesn't lie. It showed that you didn't do anything. You didn't guard us. You didn't tell them, hey, stop, calm down. You were just recording. You were praising the situation. On top of that, we paid for our names at the naming ceremony, which we didn't have to do at the Mende family reunion, and chased onto the bus, which Dynast watched. Just to verify that he did, while we were running into the bus, chased by these individuals, without thinking and being nervous, a tour member threw money at these individuals. Yes, he had threw money at the group of Temne villagers who were chasing us to stunt or distract them from continuously chasing us onto the bus. That didn't work because other Temne individuals went on the bus anyway to continuously aggressively beg us for money. Dynast had followed behind him, coming onto the bus, telling the guy that he was wrong, which we all can agree on. That day, I and other tour members complained to him about that Temne family reunion, with me suggesting him to take his next tour to a different Temne village where they aren't so aggressively begging, because it was such a bad experience for me. And I had sent the raw footage and or screenshots directly to Dynast in our group chat on WhatsApp, which we laughed it off, but amongst each other we discussed that it was the worst experience in the tour. Lastly, I want to talk about his business practices, which had put the nail in the coffin for me. Before or after we went to Kent Beach, which was during the time of my shrimp taco street food vlog, I asked Dynast about joining another tour, which he had informed me to come on his Nigeria tour. Since I had also brought up the idea to join his affiliate program to promote his business on my videos, referring my viewer to invest in his tour coming along with me and being a potential returning customer, I suggested he should give me a better price, which he negotiated my next tour with him to Nigeria to only cost me $39.50. After the Sierra Leone tour was over, I went back to corporate. I made payments, excited to go to his Nigeria tour in August of 2023. With one particular payment, Dynast asked me to send the money via Zelle, which is connected directly through my Chase bank account. Since I went on his previous tour and had no issues with him regarding payments, I agreed. Lo and behold, I now regret it, because when I sent him a $400 payment towards the Nigeria tour, there was a glitch, sending two $400 payments instead of one. So altogether, I had accidentally sent him $800 by accident instead of $400. At the time that it happened, I didn't realize it. But when I checked my bank statement, at first I wasn't trying to make it a big deal about it. But when I realized it was a glitch and error, when I showed him my bank statements with the two $400 payments with two different codes proving it was a glitch, Dynast refused to give me back the money when I asked him multiple times for the extra $400 back, which made me really upset. When Dynast realized I was upset, he called me, claiming he had already used the $800 for my hotel accommodations, even though I didn't pay all of the money needed for him to pay for all of the accommodations. Beforehand, I only gave him enough money where he gave me my flight accommodations. Although his policy states there's no refunds when it comes to company mistakes and payment glitches, of a customer overpaying for something. Usually businesses bend their policies for fairness, which I've done in the past for my own customers. I wasn't even trying to ask for the full refund of the Nigeria trip, even though I ended up not going. Not even the full $800. I just wanted the $400, which was a part of the glitch of me paying double. Now, before I forget, one huge red flag that stood out to me was Dynast misinforming me about my visa requirements and doing some backdoor activity allegedly. What I mean is, I was asking and verifying with Dynast about visa requirements I needed to get my Nigeria visa. He misinformed me about what I needed to bring to the office, and when I got there, the lady turned me around because I didn't have all the requirements, which made me frustrated with Dynast because I asked him multiple times what I needed and he gave me the wrong information. I prepared for hours, missing work, and wasted an entire day trusting his guidance. He later on told me if anything, I don't have to apply for a visa here in the United States and still go to Nigeria and pay a guy at the airport for a visa when I arrive in Nigeria, which seems to me be some illegal backdoor activity allegedly that I don't want to be a part of. My intuition kicked in, sharing my concerns, wanting to do things legally here in the United States, contemplating on going and thinking about postponing the Nigeria trip later to be more prepared to get my requirements together because I was already running out of time. Then when I asked how much money I would have to pay this Nigerian guy at the airport in Nigeria, Dynast complained that I was being too analytical and to go with the flow, refusing to tell me how much money I would have to pay for this visa, which was very odd because I only asked to be financially prepared. And Dynast is running a business where he should be transparent on how much money people have to pay. So for him to refusing how much money I would have to pay for this Nigerian guy to give me a visa at Nigeria, that was a huge red flag, and something was telling me, girl, don't even go with him. Due to my frustrations resigning from my last job, working on my business, I decided to postpone the Nigeria trip to 2024 to give me time to prepare and get my visa the right way, which Dynast was okay with. But after this issue with Dynast being stubborn, not giving me back my money, the $400 from the glitch, me discovering other complaints about him, and how he treated me privately, I decided to cancel my Nigeria trip and the tour, cutting him from my affiliate program and disassociating myself from him. I had also asked him to delete my video he asked to upload on his channel to promote his tours, which he said okay with no concern. I informed him about being disappointed in him not resolving my issues with my extra payment, deciding to keep my flight accommodations, and in return he just said okay, again being nonchalant like he didn't care. But before he was acting so engaged and present when he was persuading me to pay for his tour, being fake, which is one of the reasons why I call him a fake Pan-African, because a person who really care about his community, customers, and legacy, let alone a content creator who reports to our audience about her experiences, he wouldn't treat any customer like how he treated me. And I was just really disappointed in him. When I brought up my issues with other tour members and peers, they expressed their complaints as well, and some I can't even repeat. One admitting that they thought he had a listening ear, and it seems like he didn't make any changes at all from the complaints, agreeing that he is nonchalant. Another tour member expressed that he didn't like the tour, even pulling Dynast aside and making his own complaint. Even with my flight accommodations, when I found issues, instead of Dynast handling it as a tour operator, he would send me random customer service numbers to call that didn't work sometimes, taking me days to resolve the issues and sometimes not being able to reach customer service. At times I had to make him help me expressing my frustrations. When I told a tour member that I had to pick my seats for my flights, she asked and questioned why he was making me do it when he's the tour operator, which is similar to a travel agent. And in response, I just replied saying that's how he ran his business with me, which I thought he would take care of all the accommodations since we are paying him $4,000 to $5,000 a piece. Therefore, I do not recommend his tours, you guys. You guys are grown, can continue going on his tours, but I will not be recommending his business ventures to my audience, loved ones, and peers. I think he has poor business practices, communication, and customer service skills with no integrity because he lied and brushed over my complaints in his recent live video. When in private, he showed no real concern for my complaints when I addressed him multiple times. So, I don't want my viewers or people that I know go through what I went through. I also wanted to show transparency because I was promoting Dynast in every video of the trip. But if I did not tell my true experience, I would not be okay with it. Now that I know that him and his entire search for a Uhuru platform was allegedly all about the money using Pan-Africanism, and understanding him as a salesman in a dashiki, I wouldn't have invested in him because I looked up to him as a Pan-African brother and leader. I don't regret the Sierra Leone tour and the trip, which I said repeatedly I had a blast. I had a few bad experiences, but the good experiences overrided the bad. But what pissed me off was, again, Dynast's poor customer service skills, his communication skills, his bad business practices, and for him to have no integrity because I've caught him in so many lies. It just seems like there's two different people. It's one person that's being a representative on YouTube and one person that's really nonchalant about a lot of things. Whew. Now that was a lot of information, a true deep dive, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please use this testimony and my findings as a learning experience and properly vet people before you invest your money. Until my next exploration and trip, I will be doing more discussion-based videos. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll check you guys later. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And really let me know in detail what you guys thought.